And now joining us is Professor Amitabh Kundu, Chairperson, Technical Advisory Committee on Housing Startup Index at RBI and Committee to Estimate Shortage of Affordable Housing, Government of India. Sir, हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया आपका. जो माइग्रेंट वर्कर्स यहीं शहर में रह गए हैं, यहीं पर उन्हें रुकना पड़ा है, अपने घर नहीं जा पाए हैं, उनको यहाँ रखना, उनको यहाँ सस्टेन करना सरकार के ऊपर ये बड़ी जिम्मेदारी है, लेकिन ये एक बड़ा खर्च भी है. क्या हमारे देश, हमारी सरकार के पास इतने फंड्स हैं कि इस वक्त उनको यहाँ रखना, उनको खिलाना आसानी से लंबे वक्त के लिए हो सके?
देखिए, सबसे पहले मैं ये कहना चाहूंगा कि लॉकडाउन जो है ये रीजनेबली सक्सेसफुल है फॉर द अपर एंड द मिडिल क्लास, क्योंककि वहां पर सिविल सर्विलेंस भी बढ़ा हुआ है, कम्युनिटी सर्विलेंस है जो often invasive भी है, to some extent it is eating into the privacy, लेकिन निश्चित रूप से ये मिडिल क्लास एंड अपर क्लास के लिए बहुत सक्सेसफुल है. लेकिन लॉकडाउन से सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग स्लम एरिया में और माइग्रेंट वर्कर के लिए निश्चित रूप से नहीं बढ़ा है. हम जानते हैं कि स्लम्स में कम से कम 35% लोग ऐसे हैं जो एक कमरे में रहते हैं, एक कमरे में 4 लोग हैं, और उस स्लम में वो अभी लॉकडाउन की वजह से स्लम से बाहर नहीं जा पा रहे हैं. 25% लोग जो हैं वो टॉयलेट के लिए या पानी के लिए बाहर जाना पड़ता है. तो लॉकडाउन का उनके लिए कोई मतलब नहीं निकलता. और जो जहां तक माइग्रेंट वर्कर का सवाल है, स्पेसिफिकली आपने पूछा, उसके फिगर्स अभी हमने एस्टिमेट किया है. कम से कम 70-75 मिलियन माइग्रेंट वर्कर्स में से अगर वो वर्कर को देखें जो अनऑर्गेनाइज्ड इनफॉर्मल सेक्टर में है, जो कैजुअल एम्प्लॉयमेंट में है, या जो सेल्फ एम्प्लॉयमेंट में है, जो रेडी में बेच रहा है, उनकी हालत मैं समझता हूं कि 20 मिलियन वर्कर्स ऐसे हैं जो खतरे में हैं. उनकी नौकरियां या तो चली गई हैं या जाने वाली हैं, और लार्ज नंबर ऑफ देम दे वुड लाइक टू गो बैक टू देयर स्टेट्स, एंड आई थिंक वी हैव नॉट हैंडल्ड दैट प्रॉपरली. वी हैव अलाउड देम टू वॉक और ट्रैवल बाय मीन्स विच आर वेरी वेरी अनहाइजीनिक. मुझे ये लग रहा है कि ये लॉकडाउन के पीरियड के बाद में हम आइडेंटिफाई करना चाहें कि जो वल्नरेबल हॉटस्पॉट क्या है. मुझे लगता है स्लम्स एक हॉटस्पॉट होंगे और रिमोट विलेजेस में कुछ ऐसे निकल के आएंगे जो हॉटस्पॉट होंगे जिसको हैंडल करना हमारे लिए मुश्किल होगा. मुझे लगता है हमारा ध्यान जो है अब इन अनऑर्गेनाइज्ड सेक्टर एंड माइग्रेंट वर्कर पर हमें देना बहुत जरूरी है.
I think that's a very good point, Professor Kundu. In fact, migrant workers are like another India. I mean, they are existent, but they are hardly recognized. We find that 20 million people in this country don't have the right to vote. Most of them are migrant workers, and they just lose out on the fundamental right. And that's just an indicator of how marginalized these people are. So what can be done to bring them more under the social welfare of this country?
In fact, I was looking at some of the statistics which are available with regard to the effectiveness of the state government's programs in Delhi and also the central government programs. There is an NGO, I think Jan Sahas, I do not know their sample size whether it is adequate or not, but certainly it shows that not more than 55% of the migrant have access to the food. And of course the food is not the only thing, as Ravi was just now mentioning. And think about the unhygienic condition that they're living, and many of them may like to go back, and it's not possible. I personally believe, and yesterday as a part of my
so what is the solution for this? What
we try to provide.
What is the solution? You're in affordable housing.
I personally believe. No, in fact, that's a long-term strategy that we have to, our program for housing for the poor have not been targeted well. We thought that we will really go to the economically weaker sections and the poor, but we have somehow, Prime Minister's Awas Yojana picked up the middle class and, tried to really see that the program becomes successful, missing their target. But I think the first concern should be that when they are going back to the rural areas, they are kept there in some kind of different categories of units. I am chairman of an NGO, and we have suggested that they should talk to the village panchayats and try to see all those who are arriving. Firstly, they should be kept in different rooms so that those who are really showing some symptoms, they should be kept separate, and then they should be treated with love, affection, And long-term program would be, of course, for employment. And I personally believe that the migrants' present way of handling is not enough. There should have been given some time for them to go back, those who wanted to. And presently, many of the state governments have the program of giving food and health, but in addition to that, the money that was to be given are not reaching. And most of the statistics that I have from the civil society organizations show that not more than 50 to 55% are having access to that, and rest of them are really fending for themselves. And that is, we have also suggested that there should be interstate movement. They should start in a sanitized, safe manner. The train compartments can take them in, not accommodating more than 15, 20 people in a compartment. Similarly, within the cities also, the movement of the unorganized worker, they are cycling, they are walking to the places of mandis and for the essential services. The unorganized sector is playing a critical role even for the essential services. But they are within the city transport has to be facilitated. I think the metros and the public buses have to operate with safety provisions. The autos wallahs can be also given some kind of a permit, because a complete lockdown for the poorer sections really means less of social distancing, more of social proximity, and certainly they are fending for themselves. They might become the real hotspot for the next stage.
Good point. I think that's a fantastic point that you make, Professor Kundu, that social distancing for the poor is technically not social distancing, because they'll be cramped up in very limited and confined spaces. That's interesting perspective. It will be interesting to see whether the government understands this or not.